Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is very exciting and very unexpected, but yeah, we had the baby, and I totally thought this was going to be a labor and delivery vlog. The whole time I was planning it, and I was so excited to have this video for you guys, for me, for future self. That did not happen. Things did not go as planned. So yeah, I asked you guys over on Instagram to ask me some questions. So I could make sure I was hitting all the points on this video and make sure I was like telling you guys everything that happened and letting you guys know the tea, the labor and delivery tea. And yeah, so this is as good as it's gonna get for a labor and delivery video, because you guys will see in the story why, yeah, I just did not pull out the camera. I couldn't. It was too quick. I didn't know it was happening. And yeah, so I do kind of wish that I would have filmed myself regardless, but I didn't, and it's okay. That's where we are. Everything happens for a reason, but I'm excited to share this story with you guys and everything that happened. And we are just so glad he's here, you guys. We're so glad that we've had these extra few weeks with him. And it's been exactly a week today. So we are exactly a week. I wanted to make sure I film this video ASAP because like things can kind of get a little foggy in your memory, and I just didn't want to wait too long and kind of not remember, especially with telling a story like this. Things can just be kind of all over the place, and I have nothing written down, so this is just kind of like my memory going to you guys. So I'm just telling you guys how everything is. But yeah, so we're just gonna get into it. I hope that I don't ramble too much, and my neighbor's kind of doing yard work, but I hope that's not too annoying. So grab a snack, you guys. Let's hang out. Let's chat about a little labor and delivery. Some of this stuff might be a little TMI, but we're all friends. We're all friends here. So we're just gonna talk about it. All right, you guys. So for starters, I was 37 and a half weeks pregnant when Nico came. So last week. So we're gonna go back to the beginning. We're just gonna start from Tuesday morning. So it is Tuesday morning. It is my 37-week appointment, and the hospital and the doctor that I go to is an hour and 20 minutes from me. It's just the doctor that I've had, the same one that I used for Mateo, not the same exact doctor, but the same practice. Oh my gosh. I swear, as soon as I sit down, my neighbors decide to do yard work. Okay, so yeah, last Tuesday, it was my 37-week appointment. I'm 37 and a half weeks, so going into week 38, and I drive there. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. It's just the doctor I prefer. It's just the hospital I really want to deliver at. I really wanted to deliver at, and which I did, and it's the hospital that I had Mateo, and I just feel really comfortable, and I feel like that's such a huge thing with pregnancy and labor and delivery. Like, it's such an intimate thing. You just want to make sure you're comfortable. So anyway, I'm down there. It's my 37-week appointment, and my doctor said that they don't check you that early. Like, you can request it, but I just didn't. So I wasn't checked. I had no idea if I was dilated or anything like that, and I was having some pain, but it's just like, you guys, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you are a pregnant person, don't go on TikTok. Don't do it. TikTok will just ruin you. I'm literally on TikTok, and it's just convincing me nothing I'm dealing with is actual labor. Like, I'm like seeing all these people posting and all these, like, you know, people who are labor and delivery doctor, nurses, or whatever, and I'm like down this rabbit hole, and everything they're saying is just convincing me this is not it. So I'm like, there's just no way. This is just what it's like at 37 weeks pregnant. Like, this is just the normal uncomfortable feelings you feel. And again, this is my second baby, but I was 22 when I had Mateo. I was very, very overweight. I was high risk. And I never had these kind of pains, but I don't know. This pregnancy was so different. I'm 27 now. I was so young. My body was so different. I wasn't active. I don't know. Like, nothing was the same. So I was not comparing it at all. With Mateo, I had to be induced. I was past 39 weeks. I mean, everything was so different. I had nothing to base this on at all. So that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna like kind of look on TikTok. So yeah, I'm like, okay, these are just normal pregnancy pains, because you see people all the time that are like 38 weeks pregnant, I'm 39 weeks pregnant, I'm 37 weeks pregnant, and these are the symptoms I'm dealing with, but it's not labor. And I'm like, okay, same girl, like that's just me. Like it's just, we're all in the same boat, it's not labor. So anyway, I go to my appointment. It's like the standard like 5-10 minute checkup. And then I go get something to eat, go get a coffee, go to the mall. I'm like with my mom and my sister. I'm like, let's do some shopping. Filmed a video and everything's fine. Like I'm having these pains, but I can walk through them. And that's something I saw that was like, if you can walk through them, they're not like real contractions, or I don't know, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm walking, like I'm trying clothes on. Like I went to Aldi, I went to the grocery store. Thank goodness I went to the grocery store. I'm glad that I did, and I was able to come back to some fresh produce, you know? But anyway, so I'm like walking through Aldi, everything's fine. And then I get home, it's like, I think it's like 4 or 5. Shane's still at work. And I'm having like kind of these pains, but I just like in my mind, like it is July. You guys, it is July. Nico's not due for 2.5 weeks. I'm like, I'm having an August baby. Okay, Shane and I, our 5-year wedding anniversary was August 3rd. One of my good friends was getting married. There's just like, you have these things in your mind. You're like, these are gonna happen before the baby's here. Like it's just kind of what you have, like this plan. Like I think you just kind of see it and you're like, okay, you guys, my hospital bag, like I don't even know if you'd call it that. Okay, like 2 days before my 37-week appointment, I grabbed one of those, like they're kind of like those Aldi grocery shopping bags. I didn't even grab a real bag, and I threw like a few things in it just in case. Like no toothpaste, you guys, no face wash, and none of that. I just threw like a few things just in case. And I had a bunch of like videos saved for like what goes in my hospital bag. One of my really good friends, my friends were all texting me. They're like, Anna, I'm getting stressed for you. Like, can you pack a hospital bag? So yeah, my friend sent me a list. So I'm like, okay, here's this list. I gotta go to the store. I gotta get little toothpaste. I gotta get little things, okay? I'm not bringing my whole shampoo. I'm not bringing my whole face wash. So that was the plan for last week. That was what I was gonna do. And so yeah, I didn't even have any of that done. So anyway, I get home, I went to the grocery store. It's like 5 o'clock. Shane is not home from work. Mateo is with my mom. And Shane was gonna go pick him up after he gets out of work. So I'm kind of sitting down. I made some dinner and I told my mom, I was like, okay, I'm kind of still having these pains. But you guys, another thing I did on TikTok, I looked up what a contraction should feel like, because with Mateo, I never had one until I had the Pitocin, right? That's what they use for induction. I don't know. But I never had a contraction until I was given that. And so I really don't, honestly, I don't remember. I don't really know. I didn't know what to expect. So I'm looking up what a contraction feels like, and everyone is saying it feels like your stomach's squeezing, the baby's moving down, you feel like this abdomen squeeze, and you know what I mean? And I did not have that. It was my back, my lower back. Holy crap. That's where I was feeling it. But yeah, so I was like watching vlogs and sitting, I was eating, and I would have like these kind of back pains, but they only really came when I stood up. So I was like, okay, this is totally fine. Like, this is fine. I'm not gonna like tell Shane to leave work early. Like, I'm just not gonna inconvenience anyone, because this is not really labor. So yeah, it's like 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Those times happened. I'm like, okay, whatever. I showered, which I'm a little bit pissed that your girl showered, because I had my makeup done. I was looking cute. If I would have just waited, I would have looked really cute giving birth. But it's fine. That's not what's important. But again, I always like, you know, when you see those girls that are like, I got ready and did my hair and all this before like giving birth, I thought that was gonna be me. Like, I thought I would for sure have time, but I would have if I wasn't second guessing myself this whole day. Like, this whole day, I'm literally gaslighting myself into, this is not labor. You are not giving birth at 37 weeks pregnant. Like, you're not one of those people. It just, it's not, there's things that are happening first. Like, it's not time. So yeah, I'm just like, and I was like, you were able to try clothes on. Like, your water didn't break. You lose a mucus plug. There's no bloody discharge. You know, like all the things you see. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have any of that. Okay, I'm just having this back pain. And they say if you can walk through it, it's not real. Like, I don't know. So I'm walking through it. I was cooking dinner. You guys, I was enjoying dinner. I showered. I showered standing up. And it was totally fine. So yeah, I showered and I'm like, I'm just gonna lay down. So I'm laying down, and again, the contractions only happen when I'm like standing up. So I was just like, this is just not it. Like, I'm just having like these Braxton Hicks. I'm just having these Braxton Hicks. It's totally fine. Yeah. So anyway, Shane gets home with Mateo from work. It's like 8 p.m. And I kind of like tell him, I can't remember if I texted him and told him what's going on when he left work or not, but like I kind of just give him the gist. I'm like, hey, I'm kind of having these pain, but like, can you just rub my back? Can we put on a movie and can you just rub my back? So he's like, yeah. So we're just sitting there and we're just chatting. We put on this like Netflix movie, like the one, like, I can't remember what it's called now, but so we just put it on and we're just chilling. Mateo's asleep and it's fine. And I'm like, okay, like, this is just not it. Like, if I really truly thought this was it, you guys, I would have been like making sure I had stuff. We didn't have the car seat in the car. Like, luckily we had the car seat, but we didn't have it put in the car or anything. Like, this was all things that were gonna happen, that were gonna take place. So yeah, we're just chilling. And after like about an hour, so it's like 9 o'clock, I'm like, I don't know. Like, do you think I should go? Like, do you think I should go just to be safe? We have an hour and 20 minutes of a drive. The last thing I want to do is like wait. And I'm kind of like, you know, screwed, and the baby's delivered in the car, and the hospital right by me actually doesn't even deliver babies. Like, they don't have a labor and delivery unit. So you got to drive. So I'm like, should we maybe go? And then I kept saying, okay, we're gonna wait like 20 more minutes. Like, in 20 more minutes, if this is still happening, we'll go. So another 20 minutes passed. I'm like, okay, just like give it a little bit later. I felt really bad. We'd have to get Mateo up. We'd have to like get everything in the car, put the car seat in, get Shane's mom to take Mateo because she like lives right by the hospital. So yeah, I'm like, there's just like a lot of things that I just felt bad. Like, in my mind, I for some reason thought I'd have to be induced, and I think it's just because with Mateo that's what happened. Like, in my mind I was like, I'm not going to go into this labor naturally, but I think it's just because that's all I knew. Like, that's all I knew. So I kind of had this thing of, I know I'm gonna know the date. Like, in my mind, the date was August 14th. Like, in my mind this whole time, his birthday was August 14th. Like, don't tell me why, but that's the date I was telling everyone. Like, I was like, I just think he's gonna be here August 14th. Like, I just think that's gonna be my induction date or whatever. So that's the date I had planned. I was like, we have exactly like 2 weeks. Like, that's just what's gonna happen. So yeah, it's fine. I'm like, okay, Shane, like, maybe we should just go. Maybe we should just start driving in case. Like, I was like, let's just start driving in case. So we get the car seat and we grab our like little, you know, grocery type bag. You know, it's a little more intense than a grocery bag. Like, it was like the nice reusable ones, you guys. And I like snagged the diaper bag, and I was like, let's just go. And I also just had Nico weighed, and he was only like 5 pounds, and I had like no preemie outfits. Okay, I had like no tiny outfits. Everything I had is newborn, which is gonna be way too big because Mateo was 6 pounds, and like 6 pounds 5 ounces when we left the hospital, because like their weight varies a little bit, and he was in preemie. So I'm like, if this baby is smaller, like, I need preemie. I don't have preemie clothes. I just found out his weight. I didn't even have time to get preemie clothes. Anyway, so I throw some like I had like some newborn things. I was like, we're gonna take these just in case, whatever. But so I'm like, let's just go, because the last thing I want to do is be wrong. So we get in the car, we get Mateo. He luckily slept through like the whole ride. And Shane's like, you should probably call my mom. Like, it's like after 9. We want to make sure no one's asleep, that she can like take Mateo. It's like the middle of the week, you guys. It's like Tuesday night. And I'm like, okay, let's just wait. So we're driving and we get like 30 minutes, 40 minutes on the way. And I'm like, I just don't think this is it. Like, I told you, I'm like, this just isn't it. And I would have these like crazy back pains, like so bad. But then it's like, when it's over, you like psych yourself into like, was that really that bad? Like, was it really as painful as I remember? And then every time it was happening, I'd be like, yeah, no, this is it. This is so bad. This is so bad. And then it would stop and I'd be like, see, I'm fine. Like, I'm totally fine. This is not labor. So we're like 40 minutes down the road, and that's when like they start getting kind of like worse. Like, I can kind of talk through them, but I'm struggling. And again, it's just like this really crazy lower back pain. Like, that is the only way I can describe it. I don't even remember feeling pain in my stomach, like at all. Like, I don't remember any abdomen pain, anything like that. It is just this fully lower back pain. So yeah, I'm like, okay, we should probably just call your mom. Originally, I told Shane, hey, don't tell anyone, drop me off, sit in the car with Mateo. I'm just gonna go get checked, because if they're not gonna admit me, I don't want to go through all this if they're not gonna like admit me, you know, like that's just a lot. So that was the original plan. But yeah, so as soon as we get like further down the road and they're really bad, I'm like, okay, if this isn't labor, then like something's wrong. Like that, I was like, then something else is wrong, because it's just there's no way like I could deal with this for weeks. So we're gonna call Shane's mom. So we call her, we tell her, and she's like, okay, I'll meet you there. We're like, and like what, like 30 minutes out or something like that by this point. And so we get there, and again, I'm like thinking, I'm gonna feel so bad if I'm stressing everyone out. Like, Shane was like, hey, I gotta text like work, let them know I'm not gonna be there tomorrow. I'm like, well, don't, like, you're probably gonna be there tomorrow. Like, we're just probably gonna be sent home. Like, I'm like, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. I didn't pull out the camera and vlog. I wish I did. But I didn't tell, like, Shane to film me, nothing. Because I'm like, this is just, I'm stressing myself out. This is not labor. This is definitely not what this is. Like, whatever. So we get out of the car, and you guys, immediately, like, I'm on the pavement, can't walk. Like, I am in so much back pain. It was almost funny. Like, every time it ended, like, I was like laughing, because I'm like, this has to look like so crazy if someone's watching this. And Shane, like, obviously he's not just gonna pull out his phone and film me when I'm in these moments, but like I kind of wish he did so I could see it. So yeah, I'm just like on the floor. Like, I'm like, I need to get in. Like, I need to get inside. So we go inside, and I like wobble over. I walk, and she's like having me fill out this paperwork, like showing her like my ID, you know, like all that stuff. And I'm just like sitting there like, like swearing, dropping F words. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I told Shane, I was like, I can't stop the word vomit. Like, it's just coming out. Like, I'm like, I apologize to this lady. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So anyway, she's like, okay, let's like wait this out. She's like putting on my wristband. I'm struggling, you guys. I'm like, get me in there. Like, figure out what's wrong with me. So we go in, and everything's like, they're all calm. I'm like the only one in there. It's super late at night. And it was super nice that I was like the only one in there. So it made everything super convenient. But she's like, do you think you can give me a urine sample? And I'm like, no, yeah, I could totally give you a urine sample. That was horrific. I literally like peed all over myself. And luckily I got the urine sample. But I'm like on the floor, like I need to wash my hands. I have pee just on me. Like, I'm like on the floor. I'm like, why didn't I have Shane come in and help me, trying to like stand up to get the soap to wash my hands. And so I walk in, they do all like the normal things, you know, they gotta like ask you questions and all this stuff. And I'm like, I was just at my appointment this morning. Like, I have all the things, like everything looks fine. And she's like, okay, so we're gonna have someone come in and check you. I'm like, yes, please, like get this going, because I'm gonna tell you right now, you guys, this might seem like I'm a baby and like I'm a child, but my biggest fear, like one of my biggest fears, was not getting an epidural. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to be one of those people who's like, I am a natural girl. Like, I'm gonna deliver natural. And like, honestly, my biggest respect, I hold the utmost respect for people who can do that. It's not me. Like, I'm literally like, if I waited too long and I cannot get this epidural, I'm going to literally break down. Like, I'm like so scared, you guys. Like, I'm being so straight up. I wish I could say, you go girl, like you don't need it. Like, I mean, you don't need it. Like, you go girl, you don't need it, but like not to me. Like, to me in this moment, I'm sitting here like, how am I gonna get through this? Like, it is late. It is like 11, it's after 11. I am so tired. I've not been up this late in forever. You guys, like my bedtime was like 7:30, and yeah, I had pregnancy insomnia. Like I slept like shit my entire pregnancy, but like I'd be in bed. So I'm like sitting here like it is late. I am thirsty. I need a Diet Coke. Like I'm just like, why didn't I prepare better for this moment? So anyway, she comes in and she's like, okay, I'm gonna check you real quick. And she checks me. She's like, oh yeah, girl, you are doing great. You're 90% effaced and you're at a 7. And she's like, and with the rate this is going, it's looking like you could have a baby in the next 30 to 45 minutes. And I like look at her, I'm like, what? Like, you just don't like think that's, with Mateo, you guys, I struggled to progress. Like it took me hours and hours and hours to get to 2 centimeters. So I'm like sitting, like, I was maybe expecting her to say like, girl, you're at a 5. You're comfortable. We can give you the epidural. You can take a nap. You're going to have like 5 hours. Like that's just what in my mind, I'm like, okay, so he's going to be born like in the morning. Like that's just like what it is. So yeah, it's after 11 and I'm literally like, I look at her and Shane told me that like I went white and I looked like I was going to like fight the nurse. Like that's how angry I looked. And I try to be so sweet. I honestly blacked out, but I'm like, can I get this out? Like I need this epidural. Can I get this epidural? I felt so bad for her because she looked at me like, so like we can try our best. She's like, I can tell the fear. She was like, girl, like it is late. Like I don't know, like you are far along. We're looking at like you're gonna have this baby real soon. I don't know. And yeah, so instead of like taking a cute picture or pulling out my camera to film like vlog any of this, like I'm just sitting there like scared to death. I'm literally like, holy crap, I'm about to have this baby. I'm like, they're literally telling me like there's gonna be a baby here in an hour. And I'm like, what? Like you hear those things, it doesn't happen to you. Like it's not happening to you. So yeah, I'm in there and luckily like everyone was so sweet. And again, I think I was the only person. Like I don't even know if there was like maybe like one other baby born that night. There was like no one in there. So I feel like I got like all of the attention and thank goodness. So yeah, they get me up there, they do my blood test, everything, and I'm not even kidding you guys, under 10 minutes. Like under 10 minutes, bing, bang, boom, like they're getting this stuff done. Like I am like screaming, like grabbing onto the nurse. I'm like, oh, like, is the epidural coming? Like, I'm like, please. And she looks at me, she's like, okay, so by the time you get it, it takes about 15 minutes to fully kick in, and I cannot promise you that it is going to like work in time. She's like, but we can try. And the thing is for me, I do feel like it's a placebo thing too. Like I'm like, I just think in my mind, I want to like, I feel more confident knowing. So I'm like, let's just do it. Like, I'm like sitting there like, oh my gosh, like my birth plan, you guys, forever has been to get an epidural. I never thought that wouldn't be in the cards for me. So I'm like, okay, I don't care, just do it. Like, I know that this is just coming, this is happening. I'm having these contractions. And so the epidural, like the anesthesiologist, I'm not even kidding you guys, she comes in like almost like the second I'm in the room. Like they're on this, like they're pronto. I told everyone like right after this happened, like, I love you. Like, I'm like, you guys are like the best people. Like I want to literally like, I just am so thankful for the amazing team that I had. And it was no one I knew. It was not a doctor I ever had because it was just whoever was there. And yeah, I just felt so comfortable. Anyways, well, not comfortable, but so like taken care of. Like I felt so taken care of. Everyone was so great. So anyway, she comes in and she's like, okay, we're gonna do this, but again, I can't promise anything. Like you could get this and then push the baby out in like within 5 minutes. Like anyway, so I'm like, okay, just do it. So she's like, I just need you to relax. Like you cannot move. Like I know that you are having contractions like every like 45 seconds. Like this is a lot, but you can't move. So I'm like, okay, Anna, I just need to like zen. Like I was like, just relax. So I'm sitting here and I just like breathe. And I saw all of these TikToks, another thing, this did help, but again, don't look on TikTok. But they said, just if you like, you can breathe through your contractions. They were like, you just like relax, you got this. And I'm like sitting there saying, you got this, like you can do it. can do it. So I'm like, you got this. The contractions are coming. And it was so funny because the nurse was like, oh my gosh, her heart rate is only a 52. And the anesthesiologist was like, what? And so she looks at me and she's like, how are you able to keep your heart rate this low while having a contraction? Are you an athlete? And I'm like, okay, that was like the little bit that I needed to get through this. I was like, girl, I do Zumba. I was like, I'm a little bit of an athlete. I'm a little bit. So yeah, that gave me like the little bit of confidence. Like I got this. So we get the epidural in and the doctor is like immediately in there. Like the doctor, she was phenomenal. She was one of the only doctors that I haven't seen at my practice because I try to go to all of the doctors, but I actually never went to her, and she was fantastic. She's going to be the only doctor I see from now on. But she comes in, sorry, I just started a new clip, but she comes in and she's like, okay, we're going to check you real quick and see like, how's it going? And she's like, and I got to break your water. So she texts me and she's like, okay, so you're at a 9. So I went from a 7 to a 9, and like, I mean, like this, everything happened within like an hour. Like he was born, like we got there and he was born like just a little bit over an hour. Cause by the time I got admitted and everything, it was like past 11 and he was born at 12:30. So it is, yeah, like 11:40, 11:50-ish. Yeah. I'm trying to remember like where the clock was, but she was like, okay, you can have this baby on July 30th. But to me, I said, I don't really want a baby on July 30th. Like July 31st sounds better. I don't know. I just like thought July 31st. Okay. So anyway, she's like, okay, so we're going to break your water, broke the water really quick. And then like within, I mean, she just asked like, do you feel like it's time to push? And I'm like still in so much pain. I mean, like I just got the epidural. She told me it could take like 15 minutes for it to like actually fully affect and whatever. So, yeah, I made it to 9 centimeters basically on my own, which is, that's like one flex. Like I'll be like, okay, girl, you did that. Okay, you did that. But yeah, so immediately after that, she's like, okay, is it time to push? And I was like, okay, I think it's time. And we put the legs back and she's like, okay, like push. And yeah, that's kind of, then I'm just pushing, and I'm gonna tell you right now, pregnancy pushing out, it feel like this is what you need to tell yourself. I'm taking a giant dump. That is what got me through, is it's just, he's just a giant poop. And I know that he doesn't really come out your butthole. I keep saying, but like that is just what it feels like. Like you cannot tell me he's not coming out your butt. You cannot tell me, because that's just what it feels like. I don't know if that's TMI, but like there's nothing you can do to convince me it's the other hole, because it's just, anyway. So she's like, yeah, just like get him out, breathe through. And the thing about the pushing part that I will say, I do feel like the contractions hurt way worse. Pushing's uncomfortable, and like the position you're at is uncomfortable, but I feel like the pain of the contractions was so much worse. And again, I got the epidural and I'm literally pushing like immediately after. So they were like, I don't know if it like fully can affect, but for me, again, like it obviously did start helping, because it takes 15 minutes to be like full effect, but it does like start helping. It can start helping immediately. It affects everyone differently, but like I could fully move. Like I would like literally immediately could get like up and move my legs and stuff like that. I mean, you don't immediately get up, but like I was like sitting there, you know, moving my legs, and I felt zero numbness and anything like that from it, but it does work differently for different people and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah, like I'm pushing and she's like immediately, he's got dark hair, and I'm like sitting there like, he's not that close, you're just saying that like to try to help, like whatever. And she's like, no, seriously, like you got this, like two more. And in my mind, because again, Mateo was a vacuum assist, you guys, like he was like, I can't fully remember, but I don't remember really happening to do too much. Like I think it was like pretty quickly, because his heartbeat was dropping, he had to be vacuumed out, and it was just sucked out. So yeah, I'm like, I'm just like, I don't like, what? Like you're telling me he's almost there? Like this has felt the same the whole time. Like this felt the same. So she's like, you just one more, like just do it, like one more. And I'm like, I can't. I'm literally going back and forth like, you got this. You can't. So it's like in between the contractions, in between pushing, I'm telling myself like, I can't. Like, this is so hard. I can't. And then as soon as I start pushing, I'm like, you got this. You got this. And she was like, seriously, this is it. This is it. And I'm like, this can't be. Like, there's no way. And he's just out. He was just out. So, and then he's just on me and I'm sitting there like, are you joking? Like, I thought you were lying. I thought you were lying telling me that I was this close to delivering. So yeah, he's just on me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I already know this is gonna be like, he's a tiny little man. Like, he's a tiny little baby because I just got him weighed. I knew he was gonna be small. And it was very quick. So it was 12:30. So yeah, everything happened in like an hour from me being admitted. And he was out. And that's the story. I got the epidural, but the nurse was like, honestly, you did so much of it naturally. You did so much of it yourself. And I was like, you know, even though I freaked out and was like, you better give me this epidural, I will say I'm proud. Like, I did a good job. Like, I was in labor all day. I was at the grocery store. I was trying clothes on, like convincing myself this is not labor. And yeah, I just feel like I'm very proud of how everything went. But so he's out, he's on top of me, and it was so nice that I got that initial time because since Mateo was a vacuum assist, he had to go to the NICU. So I actually didn't get to see Mateo for a few hours. So it was nice that I just got to be there with Nico. We got to have all of his stuff done, his weight and all that in the room with me. And another thing with also like right after this you deliver the placenta, which is something you don't really feel at all. They kind of just like press it out and it just like slips out. So if you're wondering about that, it's just kind of like, it's not like pushing really, it kind of comes out. So it's not like delivering again. But yeah, so you do that and then they like, you know, with my Mateo, I tore pretty badly. So immediately after, she's like working, stitching me up, like doing all the things, which since my epidural was in full effect, I couldn't feel it all. So I was a little bit freaked out, but she looked at me and she's like, oh, great, you didn't tear at all. And I'm like, what? Okay, like I didn't tear at all. That's great news. And so it was quick cleanup and she was out and she was phenomenal. And I was like, thank you so much. Like, you kept me so comfortable and you made me feel so safe and amazing. And then he was on me and we're just like so happy. But I will say, this is what I think I said in Mateo's labor and delivery story time, if I can remember, but they push on your stomach to try to get everything out. And that is like one of the most uncomfortable things. Like, I don't know, like, I'm just like, that is just, yeah, and they come every 15 minutes, but luckily you're in this newborn bliss, so it kind of helps. But yeah, and then we stayed in the hospital and it was great. And I will say not tearing was so different. So my recovery was so different. I have a lot of people, I am going to make also a health like journey video that's different than this one. This is just my labor and delivery video. So this is like kind of where I'm about to end it, so it's not too long. But I am going to do like a health thing and like things that I did and things that I'm doing now and whatever. But I will say that is why like I'm getting kind of comments like, why is like you just seem so good right after having a baby? But I didn't tear, I didn't need stitches. So my recovery was so much quicker. Like, that's one thing I remember about Mateo. Like, when you get to, like, it honestly, sometimes I'd stand up and it kind of felt like razor blades and like, not like the worst thing ever, but like when you stand, it really would hurt for like over a week with Mateo. Now that it's been a week, and honestly, I feel almost completely back to normal, which is I feel so blessed, and I'm so happy of all the things I did during pregnancy and a lot of like the exercises I did and making sure that I was really active, eating really well. And again, not saying that that's not gonna have you tear or anything, but I do feel like that has helped tremendously with my recovery and everything like that. So yeah, that's how I am, and that's kind of why I'm pretty much back to feeling normal. And I do want to also mention, because I feel like some people will like shame people for kind of like, I hate this term bounce back. I hate the term bounce back, but they'll shame people for like feeling back to normal. And you'll get these people like, you just gave birth, like relax, like chill. And I just have to say one thing to that, like pregnancy is so hard for me, so hard. I've talked about this before, but you guys, these past like 9-10 months, well, 9 months because he was early, they were incredibly difficult. Like it was an everyday thing to switch my mindset. Pregnancy is so hard on my body. Not like I have like a physically hard pregnancy, but mentally pregnancy is so difficult. And I love that I feel like me again. I love that I have more energy to play with Mateo. I love feeling like myself and having this beautiful baby boy. I'm sweating, but like I just feel so blessed and I feel so much like myself. So please don't ever shame someone postpartum, regardless of if it's harder for them and they're taking that time that they need, or if they feel more like themselves. I mean, everyone deals with this so different, you guys. So yeah, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that because I do have comments that are like messages like, girl, come on, like you just had a baby, like relax. And I'm like, I am, like I'm fully relaxing. Like I'm like fully sitting down, enjoying the cuddles, doing everything, but also like I'm getting ready. I'm putting clothes on that I was waiting months to wear. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling proud. I'm feeling so proud of myself. Like I did the thing. Like I did the thing and I'm so incredibly happy. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video. This is super long. I'm gonna edit this as soon as I can, but let me know down below if you guys have any questions. I hope that I hit everything. Oh, Nico was, if I didn't say his weight, 5 pounds 10 ounces when he was born, but that's a lot of water weight. So he's currently 5 pounds 6 ounces right now. So some people were asking his weight, but yeah, so he's a perfect little peanut and we love him so much. But thanks for hanging out. I again hope that I got to everything. This wasn't too all over the place, so I'm gonna edit this. And I love you guys so much and I'll see you in the next one.